Good morning. Thank you for joining us, or I guess I should say good afternoon at this point. We are celebrating Mothers today, honoring mothers, and also going into our second part of our message that we started last Sunday. And we're going to tie the two together, the messages and also tying in Mothers and Mother's Day. Thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoyed today's service and today's message. And for all you mothers, I hope you have a beautiful Mother's Day. And we'll see you shortly. Welcome to the house of the Lord this morning. It's good to be here on this Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to my mom. Thank God she's here and still on this earth in our lives. God has given us that privilege. Happy Mother's Day to my wife, mother of my children, and happy Mother's Day to all the moms that are present and online. Thank God for His mercy and His grace. I was trying to remember what we did. I know we didn't have service last year, but I know we did an online thing, and it was just different in all the ways. I'm sure probably don't even remember much about it either, but here we are. We're not going to do our traditional bring everyone up and all that. Maybe next year, we'll see how it goes, but this year, glad that you are present. Amen. Amen. We are going to be in the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, 3 verses. If you don't mind taking it in, because it's important to understand. It's important to understand the concepts and the principles. Ephesians 6, starting with the first verse, we'll go 1, 2, and 3. Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Honor thy father and mother, which is the first commandment with promise. It's the first one that a promise comes with it. That's very important to understand. That it may be well with thee, and thou mayest live long on the earth. It's the first commandment that, or suggestion, counsel, instruction that also comes with a promise. The promise being that your life, you will live a long life. That's the promise. But this is not a threat. A promise and a threat are not the same things. Keep that in mind. A promise and a threat. The Lord makes promises. The Lord makes covenants. The Lord's word is His word. Man makes threats. The Lord makes promises. And last week we did our first, the first part of these suggestions and counsel. And we're going to shift it. We're going to stay in there, but we're going to shift it towards our mothers. And how can that be? How can they go together? How can the suggestions of the Lord go with honoring your mother? They go
extremely deep into honoring our mothers. There's a group of you, and I honor you today, that walk through this door, and it's your first Mother's Day without your mother on this earth. I respect that, because you could have blocked this day out. You could have said, I'm boycotting this day. So we have on this side and on this side, we have both sides people that it's their first Mother's Day without their mothers. Can we respect that, the rest of us? And let us be a support to you. Let us be an encouragement to you. Because I imagine, Minister Such, when you woke up this morning, it was a challenge. Tony, it's a challenge. Your siblings. But you made it. You fought through. This service, the hardest part was probably coming. But I want you to know that I do my best to empathize with you, to have empathy. And you know the answer. Where would your mother want you to be today? Home watching Netflix or in the house of the Lord? That's why honoring your mother, and I don't have a problem with giving gifts. I don't have a problem with the flowers. I don't have a problem that today is the hardest day to go to a restaurant of the year. It's the hardest, the most difficult day to go to a restaurant is on Mother's Day. And many people will wait hours to just go to Red Lobster or just Village Inn. And that's well and good. But every single day of your life is a chance to honor your mother, if she's here or not. I want you to keep this in mind. Because how did the scripture say? To do right. To do right. Doing right. There are many reasons to do the right thing. But one of the most important reasons to do the right thing is to honor your mother. Exodus 20, verse 12. We're going to the original when this came out in the Bible. We quote it in the New Testament, or we went into the book of Ephesians in the New Testament. But verse 12 says, honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. We're not going to, last week we talked about murder, but we're going to go to verse 15. It says, thou shalt not steal. How would that have anything to do with honoring your mother? It has a lot to do with honoring your mother. Not stealing, not robbing, not taking something that doesn't belong to you is part of honoring your mother. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. You shall not, what we call it, gossip. Say lies about somebody. That's honoring your mother. It boggles my mind. I don't know if that is a proper term to use here, but I'm going to use it. It boggles my mind how people, because we're in a different dispensation than when this was written. We're in the dispensation of grace, where the Lord forgives us, where we can go to his throne and ask him to forgive us on a daily basis as compared to when they had to make sacrifices. And there was the one day of year, a Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement, where they would take the sins but they really, what they would do is they would roll over to the next year. But they were rolling all the way up to Calvary. But we have a different privilege that we can go to our knees on a daily basis and ask the Lord to forgive our trespasses. But it boggles my mind how people feel, that they can break these suggestions because we have that privilege of being forgiven. Somebody help me with the math, because the math doesn't compute to me. Because we live in this dispensation, people feel it's irrelevant if you lie, if you cheat, or if you steal, especially if you're going to take it and do good with it, supposedly. The end justifies the means. In other words, it doesn't matter how you get there, just get there. I don't agree with that. It matters how you get there. All of you know this. I will not fear you into the kingdom. I will not fear you into the baptistry. I will not fear you to pray. I will not fear you to worship. I will not fear you to give. Because how we get there is important as getting there. I know some people would disagree with that, but this is one of my lines. The fuel we use on the train that we are traveling in is as important as where the train is going. And as I say that, I don't know if it's next week. Is it next week that we have another baptism? And all baptisms are special. But this is a young lady that is from the Jewish faith, brought up in Judaism, as my wife told her. You're not denying the Judaism. You're going to complement it. You're going to complement it. Now that's a different Bible study. But why am I sharing that? Because we didn't fear her here. She came in a time of her life on a search, a spiritual search, and she found rest and peace in this house. And now she's requesting to be baptized. It's a beautiful thing. And she came in the midst of COVID, and she wasn't the only one that was fighting spiritually. And I know many people during that time that there was a spiritual attack that would happen. I'd hear these different stories, and I'm sure I only hear a small bit of what people go through, because not everybody shares those stories about having a spiritual battle in your life, as far as where you feel that. Many people won't say it, but she did the right thing, walking in. And that's why we say, is there not a cause? Is there not a cause? Did we know that? No. But we did know that there were people that were going to need to come to this house. What I say? The house of the Lord. That we're the stewards of. It's not my house. It's not my house. Some people may put my name on it, but they're insulting the Creator because it's not mine. Hear me. I know that's not what you would do, but some people would. They call it Dion's. They're insulting the Creator because it's not mine. I might say it's yours. I might say that. It's yours. Well, I'm not going to say it's mine. I'm pausing because this is very important for us to understand. The King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. The other night I was coming around uh, the 101 to the 60, and I was about a mile and a half away. And the only real thing you could see is that the golf land slides over there, right? From a distance, right? You could see the golf land slides. But I'm envisioning in the air, there's a pillar of fire up there. There's a pillar. There's a pillar of fire. I'm going to give you what I do when I come close to this place. And maybe I'm just going to give you to follow that. Out of respect, turn your radio off. Out of respect. Now, if you have something that is yes, but just I every time I get close, I just turn my radio off. And the way I view it is I'm driving onto holy ground. You think I'm crazy? Because I believe this is a special place. Some people will tell me that they feel the Lord here. A few people do. And I'm one of them. I'm one of them. I could feel the Lord, and I'm not about feelings in a sense, but I know there's something in this house. I know there's something in this house. And that something, that pillar of fire, at night, in the cloud in the day, ministered to this young lady. And I thank God that He's giving us the responsibility, the trust to help her carry on with her relationship with the Lord. See, a lot of people, they don't understand the dynamics of what happens in religion. There's a lot of hate. There's a lot of animosity, and there's a lot of untruths said. And people make statements that are not only true, but that are hateful towards the people of the Jewish faith. And you'll hear it. You'll hear it. Maybe you're not, your antennas don't go up, but there's a lot of animosity. And what will they say? That they killed or murdered the Lord. Isn't that what people would say? But think about it. For one, wasn't He the sacrifice? Wasn't He the perfect lamb that came to take away the sins of the world? Right? And if you really knew much, who crucified Him? The Roman soldiers. So how do they even do the math? Am I right? I know I'm stepping on toes, but it's like so misunderstood. And if we're going to blame and say that, I'll say this, then I'm at fault. Because my sins put Him on that cross. What we should say is thank you. Thank you for carrying the word to perfection, that it might get delivered into your hands. And if it wasn't perfect, the scribes, you understand? I know I'm giving some footnotes here, but the scribes would look, and if it wasn't perfect, they would burn the whole thing if one letter wasn't perfect. So that when it got handed down, it got handed into your hands. So I believe that God has given us a great opportunity. I'm pausing because in today's day and time, isn't racism wrong? Isn't racism wrong? So then why is anti-Semitism right? Again, the math doesn't work. Did you hear what I said? It's wrong to be racist, but it's not wrong to hate Jews. Isn't that, can't we call that hypocrisy? That's hypocrisy. And people will say this, which I don't get. They didn't really go through that much. Why would we even say that? Why would we even make that statement? Why would we even say? So don't go down that path. Just say, thank God. Thank God that, that He's trusting us. That He's trusting us. I know I just went on this, but because I believe it has to be right this way and this way. Thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. That really applies in today's market. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. This is some good counsel. Don't have jealousy. Don't have envy. Don't covet other people's possessions. You think they could have put an automobile in there? They didn't exist, but they could have, or the Lord could have. Great counsel. Perfect counsel. And what does this do when we follow it? We're honoring our mothers. The best thing I could do for my mother is to not be a headache to her, to not be a liability to her, to be an asset to her. I don't know what it was yesterday because the night before Mother's Day, normally I think a lot of people are, maybe they go to dinner, but at home or taking it easy. I saw a lot of people pulled over. I seen a young man having a sobriety test given, numerous places. And you know what went through my head? That wouldn't be a very good Mother's Day for their moms. That either they were calling that you got to come pick me up from jail, or they're still in jail and not present for their Mother's Day. Now, maybe they bought their mom a great gift, but I think their mom would have rather that their son didn't get arrested the night before Mother's Day. Right? Doing the right thing, living the right way, honors your mother. Following these suggestions. A mother would understand this. When a son, I'll say a son, when a son finds himself in trouble all the time, it removes the peace from his mother's heart. Because she has to think about that. But if her son is doing the right thing, living the right way, following this counsel, regardless of their religious affiliation. Well, I don't believe in that. Will you believe in honoring your mother? Then you should believe in this. I say this, these instructions. That my heart may be in the right place. And you're going to hear this weaved into messages because it's so important. Your heart, this way with people, and this way with your Lord. It's so important. See, this is not a grade point average. It's not a grade point average. You can't go around breaking part of it and overcompensating with the other part. Did you catch that? I'm going to say that. You can't go around breaking part of it and overcompensating with another part. You have to look at the whole package and say, let me be right this way and let me be right this way. This week, if you haven't caught our show, Joy in the Morning, I guess I'll give a plug. 6 o'clock Monday through Friday. You can find it on some platform. If you don't do Facebook, you can find it on YouTube. It is on YouTube. All you have to do is go to YouTube, New Creation Church AZ, and it'll come up. Joy comes in the morning. We talked about boundaries. You know boundaries? People will misunderstand them. They'll misunderstand boundaries. And they'll say, I thought you forgave me. Or I thought you loved me. I thought you were my brother. I thought you were my sister. I thought you cared about me. Yes. Forgiveness doesn't mean that people can cross into your life and come in do things that are inappropriate. You understand that? Because what I'm talking about, what does that mean? About being right. I mean, not being right in an argument, but being right. Being right, that this is right and this is right. I've ran into this issue with many people because I'm not one to give warnings. I don't give warnings, and a lot of people get angry with me about it. I won't warn people. But my thinking is this: why even step over the line? Why do I have to warn you to not cross a line? Am I wrong? Because some people will push and push to see how far they can get with you. And then when you say, don't cross that, they get mad. Why didn't you tell me that you don't accept that? I think it's obvious. It's obvious. So what I'm saying is a line drawn. A line drawn doesn't mean we don't forgive. Forgiveness, reinstatement are not the same thing. You could forgive somebody, but it doesn't mean you're going to give the checkbook to them or your bank card. Can I have your ATM card, Brother Danny? If he says no, does that mean he doesn't love me? If you love me, you'll give me your ATM card with your PIN code. Right? It doesn't work that way. So I'm saying this, that you can keep this right and people still not agree with you. Because some people are not going to agree with what you do. But that doesn't mean that this is wrong. Now, this could be wrong if we cross somebody else's lines. I'm going to say that again. We can be wrong when we will be the wrong when we cross lines. Other people cross lines and then get mad at you. That's something different. But you not crossing lines, keeping this right. But if we do cross lines, then we break it. And when we break it this way, this is where people don't get it. I'm gonna pound this right now. People don't get when we break this, we break this. When we break this, we break this. Tell me it's not fair. You could tell me it's not fair. But what does that mean? That it's not fair. It's the way it is, and it'll always be that way. If you break this, you break this. But at the same time, if you break this, you're going to break this. If you break this, what do I mean by break this? If we break our connection with us and our Creator, us and the Lord, we're going to end up breaking with people too. And we can't compensate for it. We can't do something to overrule the break. That's why we got to keep this right and this right. What was our opening scriptures last week? Create in me a clean heart, O God. Renew a right spirit within me. Forgive me my trespasses, as I forgive those who have trespassed against me. That has to be in your prayers monthly, or on Easter and Christmas. And it needs to be part of just, it is as important as brushing your teeth. You know what? I'll take it a step further. It's more important than brushing your teeth. The other day, I got ready. I did all my process. I did everything, all my rituals. I loaded everything up. I got in my vehicle. I said, you know what? I forgot to put deodorant on. It hit me. Because one of the first things I do when I get out of the shower is I put in deodorant. But I went back in my mind, I said, I didn't put on deodorant. So the bedroom's upstairs. I had to take my shoes off and get to go up there. Sister Maria's in there, and she says, can't forget that. But it hit me. I'm like, good thing I didn't get out. I would have stopped at Walgreens or something. But you ever did something like that? Anybody? And then you just don't feel right. Right? Okay, I'm going to get a little transparent here. Anyone ever do that one? I said, am I good? Because if not, I'm going home, rinse off, change it up, and start all over again because I won't be comfortable. More important than that, forgive me my trespasses as I forgive those who trespass against me. How often do I need to do this? Every day. And I'm being transparent. But have you ever had a situation with somebody and you prayed and you forgave and you gave it to the Lord and then find yourself doing it again? A couple of you? Because sometimes it's a process. And we have to take it back and take it back and take it back and take it back and take it back. Check me, Lord. Check me, Lord. Well, what about them? I can't do anything about them except pray. But I can do something about this heart that is not broken this way in the sense that the flow's still there and the flow's still here. I would rather say less and not have to ask for forgiveness to somebody than say more than need to go. And I spoke my mind. I tell it like it is. I keep it real, 100. You find yourself, forgive me, Brother Danny, I shouldn't have told you that. You follow me? Sometimes we just need to exit, get in our car, say, I could have said this and I could have said that. You think I have anything in my arsenal that I could blow someone up? You think there's any bullets in this holster of mine? You think I have any? You think I have something that I could blow somebody up? Yes. Have any of you ever seen me blow somebody up? My daughter's sitting right here. She's saying, nope. Never seen you blow someone up. People have blown me up plenty of times. And I'll say nothing. It's not because I have nothing that I can't say. I don't say anything lest now I'm the one that breached. What's the line they say if a female tells you, watch out? Wow. You never heard that one? If she tells you, wow. Could that be pretty powerful? She says, wow. That's what you might get from me. Wow. That's what you might get. Chances are like you might not get anything, but you might get a wow. You're going to say that. You're going to go there. Or bear false witness. You think anyone's ever bared false witness on me? And then I call or I get a hold of somebody that bears false witness and set the story straight. No. The old line, it is what it is. Those that know me, they'll know not true. And those that are going to think it's true don't know me. I'm talking about false witness, saying lies. I'm sticking on honoring your mother and not breaking this. Not breaking this. But because I don't reply or respond or react, some people believe you can say stuff to me and there's no consequences. Did that make sense? Does that make sense that some people believe that? That you can do that and there's no consequences? But I know they are paying a consequence because this right here, they broke it. How? They're breaking it because the Lord can hear. Now, I'm not saying that to defend myself. I'm saying that they break the conduit when they do that. And I'll say this. Do we have all the information if it's somebody else? Do we know this to be true? Do we know this to be a fact? Be careful what you hear and repeat about somebody. It may be true, it may be a lie, it may be partial truth. There's many things I don't say to people close to me about other people because I don't know if it's the truth. Lest I bear false witness. Lest I bear false witness. Even though someone handed it to me and all I did was relay it, I could be relaying a lie. Just because someone else said it and all you're doing is relaying it doesn't mean that you're not bearing false witness or I'm not bearing false witness because I just repeated something that was a lie. Now what did I do? I broke the conduit. And I dishonor my mother. You see that? That's why do the right thing. Do the right thing. Live the right way. I heard a brother say this one time. He was telling someone about the Lord, and hell came up. And he told the person, he said, if there was no hell, we wouldn't be serving the Lord. I was a young man at the time, and instantly I was like, I don't agree with that statement. I'm going to say this, and people have gotten angry with me for saying this, but I'm going to say it. Hear me, how I say this. If there was no heaven and there was no hell, I would still serve the Lord. Now, did I say there's no heaven? Did I say there's no hell? I said if there wasn't one, I would still serve the Lord. Why? Because the best life there is serving the Lord. That's why. And this one's going to go into, this saying's it's going to stay with us till we leave this earth. We don't have to. We get to. We get to. We don't have to. We get to do this. I thank God that He chose me. I thank Him. And He knew me when I was in my mother's womb. And He knew you when you were in your mother's womb. And I think I might be able to call that a miracle. I'm going to start wrapping this up, but look at yourself when you were a young little girl or little boy, and you were fearful, distraught, upset. When you're little, young, chances are the person you're going to run to is your mom, right? How about the first time that you scraped your knee on the asphalt? Anyone remember that? Anyone ever have that? Because I did. You hit that, scraping on the asphalt or the concrete, run in the house, run to mom. Something just, you didn't feel good. Your first fever. The first time you remember vomiting. Your mother. Your mother there. My wife had gone through many physical challenges. The hospital. Surgery while she's pregnant with Medea. Her mom would stay in that hospital room the whole time. She'd stay there. I tried. I can't sleep in there. I tried. I was like, man, I felt horrible the night I slept in the hospital. That's Marissa. That's the only time. But my mother-in-law was there. time after time, and she'd be there nurturing and taking care of her daughter, being with her. And I look back now and I'm like, the way I'm wired, I thank God that this grown woman had a mother still there to help her and feed her. And when she had to go to the bathroom, her mom would take her to the bathroom and all them things. And the nurses would come, and sometimes they weren't very good or nice or had good bedside manners. My mother-in-law would let them know, hey, careful. And you know what? Just stop. Let me do it. That's what would happen. But it was your mother that was there with you. But she wasn't the only one. Your Father in heaven was there too. So your mother should have had you put up that picture. There's a picture. I got hit by a car. I was 7 years old. And I'm laying in the middle of the street. And a police officer's next to me. And there's my mother. And you could just see the anguish on her face. And there's my dad standing in the background. This is in the newspaper. I recently emailed. I was trying to reach out to the photographer. And I emailed them. I said, is there any way I can get, I sent the picture. Can I get the original of this? I didn't hear back from them. I'm not going to stop though. I want to get the original before my time comes. Because it speaks volumes. I remember when it came out in the paper and they showed me, it didn't register my 7-year-old mind. It didn't register the depth of it until recently, as I've gotten older. At the moment that picture, I was out. I wasn't there. I was gone. So my dad was there, my mom was there, the police were there. Eventually the ambulance showed up. I was knocked out. I was unconscious. I woke up in the ambulance. And in those times, the doctors were really connected, like to the families. They had called my doctor, but he wasn't available, his partner. I don't know how they did it back then, because this would have been unheard of in today's day and time. His partner was in the ambulance. My mom was in the ambulance. ETM was in the ambulance. And I remember I woke up and my mom was there. And I was a lot like I am now. The way I am. This is what I told them. Take me home. That's what I told them. I said, take me home. I'm in an ambulance. Sirens going. I'm all messed up. I'm just like, just take me home. Take me to my house. That's, if you know me, I'm, how would I say this? When I have to, I'm a take charge person. 7 years old, I was taking charge, Marissa. I was telling them to take me home. I remember them putting me on the gurney, rushing me in, and I had a bathing suit on. They cut my bathing suit off. There was people everywhere. They're rolling me around, and I'm still telling them, leave me alone, take me home. That's what they didn't listen to me. But that's how I went about it. But in a traumatic, horrific experience, I thank God that God was with me, and my mother was with me. In those times, they didn't stay in the hospital room, no. So I had to stay without my mom. And it was like a nightmare. Them cold hospital rooms, like just, and I still remember staying there and going through that experience. But we made it through. God held his hand upon me. But how many times in your life did you have a moment and your mom was there, or you ran to your mom? At least once. At least once. Brother Danny's saying too many. What am I saying? Honor her by doing the right thing. Not if everyone else is doing the wrong thing, you still do the right thing. If everyone else is doing the wrong thing, you still do the right thing. Those of you, this is your first time having Mother's Day without your mother, that covenant, that vow, that promise, fight, power through, punch through, say, I have to. I may be weary, I may be tired, I may not know. In fact, everything within you should be like, I'm going to heaven. When I finish here on earth, there's no way I'm missing out. Because I want to see my Lord. And I want to see my mom. Because I believe that's what happens. How would you want to miss that one? Or how could you miss that one? So your drive should be harder now, not less. Your punch should be more. Your push should be more, because I'm going to do the right thing. I'm going to live the right way. I'm going to make sure that I don't break this and I don't break this, because I'm going to see my Lord and I'm going to see my mother.